atmosphere and space computing in audio have long been a daily experience. But from what I can see, it still generates many doubts among customers. So I will make an effort to share a small part of the history and enjoyment connected to this technology through audio, music, and other forms of art. Let's initiate by sharing some information about sound. Sound is a wave that generates pressure changes through cycles, creating a sequence in which those cycles repeat in the continuum of space and time. Thus, we are already familiar with the concept of frequency, which refers to the cycle repetition and the frequency at which it occurs. We all have experiences in sound perception, not only through our ears, but also through our skin and our body structure. In this way, we can already deduce that headphone systems, no matter how realistic they are, do not have this sound perception from other parts of the body. Space-time, taking into account that matter remains in space to a high degree. The change in sound pressure travels through that space at a specific speed. Therefore, given its reduced speed, by collecting an adequate number of samples, we are able to determine the specific area in which the changes in pressure and their cycles occur at a given time. This allows us to obtain valuable spatial information about the sources of sound and the complex acoustic processes with which they are associated. These problems are not new. It has been over a century since they were not only developed theoretically, but also put into practice in staggered and interdependent ways by their developers, taking into account the existing technologies and the challenges they faced during implementation. Presumably, in the absence of Alan Blumlein's premature death, these technologies would have been developed at an earlier stage. Alan Dowell Blumlein tragically passed away in an aviation incident while serving in World War II. On the 7th of June in the year 1942, Blumlein was aboard a Horsa test plane that was being towed by a Halifax bomber during a test flight. The test plane crashed in Wales during a secret test mission. Both Blumlein and the other occupants of the plane lost their lives in the accident. This was a major setback for the engineering and technology community, as Blumlein was a well-known trailblazer in the field of technology during that period of time. Playback in atmosphere. Let's enjoy the music and sound. Ray Dolby established Dolby Labs in 1965. Dolby Labs was founded by Ray Dolby. It was in that year when he founded the company with the goal of developing sound technologies and enhancing audio quality in different applications, ranging from cinema to home entertainment. Since then, Dolby Laboratories have been a major force in the audio industry, and its innovations have had a substantial and noteworthy impact on the way we experience and perceive sound in various types of media. Ray Dolby was a well-known engineer and scientist in the audio field and left a significant legacy to the industry. As we can observe, Dolby is not new to this kind of technological impact, but it appears that the industry is ultimately providing a music playback system with spatial design. Atmos is a system that offers the promise of automatically adjusting to the player we are utilizing. Atmos sound provides us with a mixed format of reproduction systems, which are commonly referred to as beds or objects in the industry. Beds are the essence of the surround sound that we are familiar with, as it is associated with the precise location of the speakers in the playback room, originating from quadraphonic, the well-known 5.1 or other increasingly popular systems like 7, 1.4, Bear in mind that each point signifies the separation and differentiation of discrete speaker groups, whose signal is self-contained and independent within the format. There are 7 speakers positioned around you on your axis. Point 1 is for the LFE speaker, which is responsible for producing low-frequency effects. Point 4 is designated for the 4 upper speakers located in the room. In this manner, we come across various standardized systems for speaker placement that can be designed by considering their position during reproduction and knowing their precise location. Therefore, it is crucial to position the speakers in every possible format. The sound transmitted through objects provides us with a method to arrange the channels in the three axes, with each axis being completely independent from the others and from the beds. The maximum number of objects corresponds to the theoretical limit of sound identification by humans, so it appears to be quite appropriate in this context. Objects have the ability to reproduce in their designated location regardless of the number of playback speakers, thereby offering a spatial quality that is proportional to the density and organization of the speakers within the given space. In practical application, the reproduction of Atmos is not without its share of difficulties. Arguably, the least problematic method is to play content in binaural format, utilizing headphones, which Atmos specifically offers for select next-generation systems. Whether they are based on Apple or Android, we can find different systems, such as the Bit or the Airpods, depending on the specific platform used. In addition to a variety of applications for different systems, whether they are mobile or computer, in order to play and adapt to these formats. Certain new portable devices and certain bars adapt their design in order to be able to provide various alternatives to the placement and positioning of speakers. Spatial recording, ambisonic and beyond. As we have observed up to this point, the reproduction provided by Atmos does not encompass all of the three-dimensional information of the sources. However, it does provide various methods to utilize that information in space. Therefore, Atmos appears to be an undoubtedly valuable standard format for reproducing spatial audio. However, tools based on information alignment, such as ambisonic formats, offer a much more natural format for managing spatial information. This format includes the complex acoustic processes that are associated with the way sources are positioned in space, providing a comprehensive spatial information management solution. Therefore, it is understandable that large studios record their productions combining ambisonic and applied techniques in order to guarantee that their productions will continue to be highly compatible with future formats. Despite the fact that this surge of format changes appears to no longer be happening as rapidly, what we do discover is an increased capability for different ways of playing back. That 3D audio masters can indeed meet the requirements by faithfully adapting to the different methods of reproducing the information. As an illustration, there exist systems such as Era that facilitate full adaptation to any speaker architecture, an adaptation characterized by an infinite number of polar patterns. Vision Pro is presented as a new standard in space computing. As we have seen, space computing is not a new problem or a recent phenomenon in the field. Apple demonstrates within its ecosystem that they possess a spatial audio management system that entirely substitutes the Dolby ATMOS management program. In my opinion, Apple has already revealed how the use of sound by objects, which are subject to sound beds, is already the fundamental basis of audio management in the field of spatial computing. I understand that they will use polar patterns to adapt, either through some ambisonic variables or in the management of their alternative systems to Dolby. As we understand music, it seems that it has always been an intrinsic part of communication. At the present time, there is a greater tendency to utilize that communication more for the purpose of entertainment, but inevitably leading to communication with our own dialogue and ultimately enhancing our overall interaction. The inner dialogue is a constant variable that will always exist, whether we are experiencing the generation of music or any other form of art. It is an integral part of the creative process. Without a doubt, every inner dialogue is unique and has its own specific requirements. We are unable to ascertain what the demands of the future will be, but it is likely that we can uncover our own demands in order to derive satisfaction from this form of communication. Derive satisfaction from current employment and find joy in reacquainting oneself with previous professional experiences. Here I present you with a few projects that I am currently enjoying, and well, I sincerely hope that you also derive pleasure from them, regardless of the format in which they are presented. Guests are invited to leave a legacy and questions in the comments. Thank you for your time.